Okay, it is 11:11, and this is Questions for the Dragon. I'm Stephen, the channeler,
And this is Stephanie. Hello.
and we are here for another session of this Questions for the Dragon where we clarify any questions that our Dragon Tribe has, any people who are taking any of the Dragon Energies classes are going to have questions that may be a little more advanced, but this is open to everyone. So our questions on this type of live are of a nature that would be of interest for those who have gathered. So we don't really tackle personal questions like, who is my dragon, or anything that wouldn't be of interest to the whole gathering here. So if you could keep any questions that you have for Jadon Se to those that would be of interest to everyone here, that's all we request. And we do have a few announcements while we're waiting for everyone to gather, and then we'll do some shout outs. The announcements are, once again, we did get our Apple iOS Oracle Deck app into the Apple Store. So it is now available on both the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Yay, that was a chore to get it listed with Apple, but it's there, and it's now $9.99 for the Apple version. Since we don't have to publish it manually, it's you can just go on and download it there, and there are links below. It's if you want to search manually on the store, it's Golden Dragon Oracle Deck is how you find it. And I think if you put in Jadon Se, it'll come up, but it's better to do Golden Dragon Oracle Deck. And let's see, we have exciting news. The level 2 classes are opening for the first time in January, and the first class will be January 4th. So we have open signups for that. Some of you are already starting to sign up. It does have a prerequisite. You have to have taken the level 1 class. So please don't sign up for level 2 unless you've taken level 1. Those of you who are in the current level 1 December class, you are cleared to sign up if you want. Anyway, that's available, and we do have a link that's posted in the chat for that. And there's a description down below on this live. So what else is going on in the world right now? We are working on getting the physical Oracle cards printed. They won't have Jadon Se's voice, of course, like the app does, but a lot of you like to play with the physical decks. So we are working on that. What we may do is take some pre-orders, and that would help us get up enough capital to go out there and print these. We prefer to print in the U.S. for obvious reasons. So we're going to see what we can do and make sure that when we do print these, they're high quality. So we may be taking pre-orders soon on the website. More on that as it appears. And what else is going on? That's it. I hope you all had a happy 12/12 portal yesterday, and we decided to just go live today. So hopefully you guys tuned into 12/12 energies yesterday. And let's see, anything that you have for everyone, Stephanie?
Nope.
Okay. And Stephanie did have a wonderful birthday again. Thank you for
Yes,
those
thank
of
you,
you
everyone.
for those of you who have sent her well wishes.
Yeah, thank you. It was wonderful.
Good. Okay, so I'm just gonna go. Well, let's do some shout outs before we drop in to chat. So please shout out where in the world you are right now in your moment of now. We have a few check-ins already. We're going to start on those. I know we understand there's a little delay in the live stream. So let's see. We have Tyrol, Austria, the beautiful Alps, North Bend, Oregon. Hi,
Yes, hello, Mom.
Mom. We have Holland in the house. We have Groves, Texas, Chile in the house. Price, Utah is in the house. Shout out where you are in the world right now. And we have Amsterdam, Netherlands. We have Faro, Portugal in the house. So well represented around the world so far. We're looking for someone from let's see, Asia at this point, maybe Africa. Illinois is in the house. We have Queensland, Australia, Thailand. All right, there's our Asian presence. We have South Africa in the house. Yay. So now we're really starting to circle the globe here. So wonderful. Keep coming with where you are, and we will shout you out as you appear here. Very good. So while we're waiting for any other check-ins, we'll go ahead and drop into channel. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is another gathering of Questions for the Dragon. We gather here every Wednesday at 11:11, or no, today, time with your human way of reckoning can sometimes flummox a cosmic golden dragon. It is your day of Saturday at 11:11 for Questions for the Dragon, and it is beautiful to have this gathering in your moment of now, for so much is changing in your worlds, plural, for each of you has a different view of this world, and therefore it is slightly different for you. We might agree on a common world or a concept of what this world is, and this is where the connections really start to get fun. For when you agree on the world of your story, this is where co-creation really starts to shine, we might say. Beautiful. So, in your moment of now, in this your world, very much has changed and is changing. And dear ones, this is a time period where, let us say, not everyone has caught up to the shift, so to speak. Many are still operating as they always have, so to speak, and just going along with the way things are and the way people do things. And so many are still focused on political infighting and all of this, in this wrestling match on what the world should be and could be and will be and all of this. And so there are still many who are distracted by this tug of war, you might say. This is a quaint little game where the group has one hold of a big rope and another group has another hold on the other end of the rope, and they try to pull each other into the mud that's in the middle. And dear ones, this is very much like what your political situation has been for quite some time, and many of you are starting to drop the rope and walk away from that silly game. And as this happens, the other side gets an upper hand for a moment, and then someone on the other side might drop the rope and walk away. And it is, let us hope that this tug-of-war game is not long in the lasting, for who wants to be in the mud? And nobody truly wins this game. It is not, let us say, other than just a little fun at some sort of gathering, it is not very healthy for those of you to try to pull others into the mud like this. Massachusetts is in the house. Welcome to Aaron. Thank you for joining us. And dear ones, many are still operating as if the world is still just this contested political sphere, and the future is either going to be some sort of progressive thing or conservative thing, or somewhere in between, or a back and forth forever and ever, this tug of war. Dear ones, many of you are opening your eyes to the fact that that is the old paradigm. This is what is becoming obsolete, so to speak. This infighting and bickering over identity and all of these different things, and whether or not this world should be this way or that way. There is a new world that has started to dawn, while the others were focusing on these other two possible worlds, one of going back in time and one of so-called progress. And so there you have a third dawning of this golden age where, unbeknownst to those in this tug-of-war match, this new dawn is coming where many of those items that have been bickered about will no longer even be of interest, for compassion is on the rise, and abundance is on the rise. And when abundance is on the rise, the scarcity limitations fall away. And this is what most bicker about. It is when there is seemingly a lack of some kind, or limited supply of resources, or limits to what freedoms people feel they have. This is when all this fighting occurs. And dear ones, this golden age is a time of abundance, the end of lack, the end of limitations, so to speak. And this will in of itself, let us say, remedy the disputes of the past. And so it is very much time to put down the rope and let us say join the picnic, for it is a beautiful time for us to be here on this your Gaia. Many of you may be aware that the planet herself, your beautiful illustrious Gaia, yes, even in just this third and fourth densities, has been healing herself. Many of you are aware there have been gatherings of the whales, the cetaceans. There have been gatherings of birds and beasts around the world, new behaviors of animals, more love and kindness showing through the animal kingdoms, and weather patterns that seem new, emerging. Let us say a great cleansing is happening upon your world right now. Your Gaia is cleaning herself of, let us say, the impurities of this past age, your chemicals that have been released into the environment, and your pollution and plastics floating around in the waters, and these are all being dealt with, dear ones. You may not see it per se, but these are happening. It is many of you are totally unaware of great changes that are happening on this your world. One side of the world is getting hotter, the mantle, so to speak, the flow of energies below the surface is another way of seeing this. Your western hemisphere is heating up somewhat, and your eastern hemisphere is cooling off, and this is causing concern for some, what is happening beneath the surface. And dear ones, this is a cycle. Your Gaia knows how to shake off these impurities, knows how to clean herself and purify the environment, and deal with inappropriate energies and pollution and chemicals and all of this. And this is part of the process. Ocean currents will change and shift somewhat. Some volcanoes will erupt in certain regions, and areas will get hotter than usual. Some areas will get much colder than usual. Dear ones, do not fall into fear over this. It is not a cataclysm or a great calamity. It is, yes, there are some die-offs of certain species and re-equalizations of energies on this your world, and some of this is just the tail end of the abuses of the past ages, let us say. It is a time where there is a great, let us say, physical reset on your beautiful world, and because of this, many of you will have great concern, and just relax. It is Gaia knows what she is doing. Some humans may have to move for a time as things are occurring in certain locations, and most of you will survive. It will not be a big, great calamity any more than usual. At least you are not dealing with great hurricane damages in many places as you are used to. It is just simply a shifting of energies, and so do not be concerned overly about this. Be alert and definitely respond to what Gaia is doing as appropriate. Just do not fall into fear over this. Let us say that everything is in perfect timing and is happening for a reason. Yes, dear ones. It is time for you, dear ones, to look at what your new dreams are, what your emerging dreams are. Many of you are actively working on building your dreams, and this is beautiful, dear ones, for living on purpose and for a purpose with a sense of purpose is the best sort of life. As you work towards your dreams and build them and create them lovingly, co-create them with others, yes, this is a good time for you to begin what you have been thinking of starting. And let us say that there is more support than ever before for building your dreams. So it is a good time. Dear ones, you are ready for more. There is many of you, even knowing that it is time to build your dreams, have still been dreaming a little small, let us say. You are ready for your highest timelines. And it is for you to claim this, dear ones. No one will just hand you what is perfect for you. You must ask of the divine, of your higher, greater self. This is what I dream. This is what I see my higher timeline as. And it is fine for you, dear ones, to say this or better. For your greater self, your higher self, your spirit guides, your ascended masters, angels, dragons, God, yes, dear ones, knows you and knows what is best for you. So you take the first few steps on this journey, say, this is what I am building, these are my dreams. Please help me build this or better, and be alert for the better as it emerges, dear ones, for oftentimes it does. And just know, dear ones, that you are supported beyond what you even think is possible. It is for you to make a decision. The way this works, dear ones, is you do not just throw up your entire existence to the will of the divine and just sit back on the couch and wait for something to happen. It is not like this. You are constantly on the ground, making choices, decisions, seeing what it is that you desire, and it is for you to make these decisions on the ground. And then once you have done this and you have identified what it is that is your dreams, know that there is support, and it will come flowing in, and it will be the appropriate support for you. It is not always just what you think you wish for or want. It is what is for your highest good that will be supported. And dear ones, just make sure that you are doing your part and making your choices, your decisions. It is not a passive life. It is an active life. Just know that you make decisions in your realm of beingness, and the other realms respond to these decisions. You do not need to micromanage the divine. Just simply hold your, let us say, keep your eyes on the prize, keep your eyes toward the horizon that you are moving towards, and all will fall into place as appropriate for your highest good. Beautiful, dear ones. We are going to start perhaps responding to your comments in the chat, and let us see. Your Stephanie will start to call out these questions here.
I see Anita Matriana. She says, hello, Jadon Se. Yesterday was the 2nd year anniversary of the death of my last boyfriend. I want to know your intake on death or the death process. How is your perception of it?
Dear ones, in this density, in this let us say, realm of operation for you, there is this saying, you say, I have incarnated here, and there is, let us say, a presumption in this, saying, I have incarnated, carne meaning meat or flesh, and I have come into being in the flesh, let us say. This is very similar to saying, I have put on a meat suit and appeared in this world. And dear ones, so long as you hold this understanding of life here in this realm, there is a presumption that there is this birth and death process, and it is very familiar, and yes, dear ones, familiar is even perfect for the word for this. It comes through families, it comes through your ancestry. This you have inherited, so to speak, an understanding of life on this world. And because of this, many of you operate with the assumption that I am going to be born into this little squirmy, little puffy baby body, and then I have somebody changing diapers for me and stuffing strange foods into my mouth and all of this until I can speak for myself and have my ability to move around and do things on my own. And then little by little, slowly, I grow up into having autonomy of some sort or another, and one day I am deemed an adult, and then my life truly begins, and then I can build my dreams and do these things, and many of you are still operating under the assumption that there is a shelf life to this meat suit, that it only sticks around for 70 to 100 years or so, and then it just starts to fall apart, and entropy starts to set in, and it breaks down, and grows old and starts to suffer, and all of this. And dear ones, this is many of you have this, let us say, agreement with your life, where you see things this way. And so long as you do, you will experience death. And as you experience the death of your own beingness in your own body, the decay and aging of your own body, and watching your grandparents age and die and all of this, so long as there is a widespread subscription to this realm of meat suits and dying, dear ones, this is what you have in store for you if you subscribe to this. And so because of this, many of you have lost dear ones, so to speak. This is only an illusion. They have not been lost. There is no loss, dear ones. Love is all gain, and when you co-create with other beings to create any world, any story, this is all gain. There is no loss. It is part of the story and the drama that someone may die. And if you watch your Shakespearean plays, many times the death speech goes on, and you're thinking, would you just die already with your monologue? Oh, doth he has stabbeth me, and all of this. And dear ones, I am making fun of this, for your death is actually laughable from the realms of the divine. There is no true death. What is happening is you're just ending. The curtain is falling on that scene of that play, and like the one who has been stabbed in monologues forever, would you just bleed out already, you long-winded person? And like this, it can be a joke on the other side of the veil, so to speak. And what is the veil? It is very much like the curtain that falls on your Shakespearean play. Dear ones, there is no true separation. When a loved one dies, they are still completely aware of you and your world and what is happening with you. They have simply decided that they will no longer be appearing in this act on this stage at this time. The actor or actress is just fine, and even the character from the play is just fine. They still even have their costume on in some cases, and ready to come and hug you after the act is over and the curtain falls and everyone goes backstage for a little celebration. And it is very much like this, dear one. This one who seems to be taken from you or separated from you, you seem to have lost them. It is not true. And however, we recognize that as you feel it is true, there is a deep upwelling of sadness and grief and feelings. We are not making little of your feelings, dear ones. You, as you feel like you are unable to be with your loved ones, are suffering, and we do not belittle you. In fact, this is one of the things that makes your existence and your level of reality so precious and beautiful, is the depth of your feelings. So we are not trying to downplay that you have lost this boyfriend, and that you feel separated from this person. And we are not saying that your grief is not real. It is real to you. You are feeling it so deeply. And we do give you our condolences for this feeling that you are carrying, and for this any suffering that has accompanied this. Dear ones, you all chart in these relationships, and even deaths, even tragic accidents are charted in for you to grow and experience these deep emotions and grow through them and learn from this and expand your beingness through it. Just know that you will be reunited with anyone that you feel you have lost. And some of you have had so-called near-death experiences where you have gone out of body, and you have seen the doctors working on your body, or somebody freaking out, or even perhaps your own body freaking out as it is dying, and you watch it from what seems like somewhere else. And dear ones, this is very instructive of how it is on the other side. In your case, your boyfriend is very aware of what you go through, and is wishing that he could console you, or say, I'm fine, I'm not gone or dead, I am fine, I'm just waiting for you to come out of this from behind your curtain. You're the one who is behind the veil. The rest of us are just waiting for you to finish this play, and for the curtain to fall, and for us to be reunited, so to speak. So it is, let us just say that from a cosmic golden dragon standpoint, this take on death that you ask for, it is an illusion. It is a sense of separation that seems very real, real enough to give you deep feelings, and we have great compassion for what you go through when each of you loses a loved one, so to speak. It is a temporary loss. Just know this. Love is always gain and never loss. Bask in the moments you have had with this, your boyfriend. Cherish these moments, these beautiful co-creations that you have experienced. They are in the records of eternity, and they are beautiful. And dear ones, your grief is even in the records of eternity and beautiful, especially to the one you are grieving for. Can you imagine dying and being on the other side and seeing your loved one grieve for you? Do you not realize how much they feel for you? You do not, until you see them grieve for you, and you see the effect of your passing upon them. So many of you are completely oblivious to this until you are waiting on the other side of the so-called veil for those to stop grieving and to be reunited with you. Let us just say that this realm that you are in is so beautiful because of the depth of emotion that you feel, oftentimes because of this illusion of separation. It is all good and all beautiful, and you are all growing through these experiences, dear ones.
I see Aaron Darvish has a question. Jadon Se, what is the connection with the feminine energy, Mary Magdalene, Christ consciousness, and the Golden Age?
Dear ones, feminine energy and Mary Magdalene, let us say that these understandings and awarenesses are on the rise once again. You could not have a golden age without a balance in masculine and feminine divine energies. It is not even possible to have a golden age when there is a great imbalance. Either way, yes, dear ones, you do not wish to have a world that is all matriarchal and the divine masculine is, let us say, stamped out or looked down upon or belittled, and you do not wish that either. It would be not a fun experience for any of you, and so it is on the rise that this divine feminine energy, your awareness that your Mary Magdalene was not some sort of hussy that just hung out with your Yeshua. She was a very beautiful and advanced and divine and, yes, realized and ascended being in her own right, every bit as equal to your Yeshua. And the full realization and ascension and enlightenment of a feminine being is such a beautiful thing to not only behold but experience up close and personal, for such waves of love and compassion and sensitivity, deep sensitivity, dear ones. There is a reason why your divine feminine is renowned in many religions. Your Kuan Yin, your Mother Mary, your Mary Magdalene is coming back into understanding. And dear ones, your Green Tara, all of these beautiful divine feminine aspects, even your Kali Ma in her somewhat terrifying modes, and all of this showing that the spectrum of feminine energies is sacred, is divine, is beautiful, and is necessary to be in balance with the divine masculine. Yes, there are toxic masculine energies, there are toxic feminine energies. These are only quote-unquote toxic when they become unbalanced and they become, let us say, inflated or egotistical, the sense of separation. For every being on your world has both divine male and female aspects to their beingness. Each of you has power and strength and protectiveness and sensitivities and intuitions and beautiful compassion and love and understanding, and each of you is able to build great things and build your dreams and go out and be forceful and confident and speak with rationality and understanding on certain mental areas, and each of you has a deep inner knowingness and intuition and inner wisdom, and so it is not masculine versus feminine, dear ones. There is no conflict. It is a beautiful cooperation and co-creation of beingness, and because of this understanding that the divine feminine has been suppressed in these ages of limitation and dark times, we might say, it is because the Magdalene is being, let us say, restored to her great story and grandeur that she is and was, that you can understand a deeper meaning of Christ consciousness. Yes, dear ones, both the Mary Magdalene and the Yeshua were Christs and are Christed and are ascended beings and enlightened, you might say. They are Christed in different aspects of beingness with different roles to play during their various stories. They donned different characters, you might say, and the Magdalene energies are coming back now and being deeply understood and celebrated, dear ones, because of this. And as they restore balance, the Magdalene and the Yeshua walk hand in hand and guide humanity into a beautiful let us say, set of futures, stories that can only happen when these are in balance. And again, this is why the golden age is coming about, dear ones.
Let's, okay. Yeah, Aaron Darvish has another question. He's driving, and so he has all of his questions together. And he is asking, Jadon Se, would you please share about the idea of overlays in our dream state?
Thank you for letting us know that you are driving, and that is why you are always so full of questions. It is beautiful that you are full of questions. We just want to make sure that it is not lopsided, always the Aaron Darvish questions show. It is beautiful. Thank you for these questions. Sharing about overlays in dream state. Dear ones, overlays. This is one way of thinking about consciousness, various levels and layers, overlays, so to speak, of consciousness. This is simply a way of trying to differentiate between different modes of consciousness, you might say. And consciousness, like so many other ways of being, is a spectrum from your waking consciousness and your physical consciousness all the way into very esoteric and seemingly hidden realms and deep understandings, mystical consciousness, you might say. It is a spectrum. There are no distinct layers in between. Graduations and gradients might be more appropriate. However, if we are speaking of the dream state, there is not the dream state. There are dream states, and even within dream realms, there is a very wide spectrum. And let us just say that when you operate in your dream realms, oftentimes you are working through energies that need to be unstuck or rebalanced, so to speak, or let us say felt into to more deeply understand the undercurrents of what is causing these situations and understandings in your realities. And so it is very much like oceanic currents. You might have on the surface waves and wind and white caps even, or more a calm day with sparkling sunlight on the waters, or birds dipping in, and well, all of this on the surface. And then below the surface there might be a different flow of waters, and if let us say the surface is very busy, there is a storm and there's a churning and there are white caps and waves, and if you go down a little bit, there is still lots of motion in the water as the waves pass overhead. There is still, if you are swimming just beneath the surface, you are still thrashed around by these swells and waves. And then you descend a little further, and as you descend, the wave action from the surface is no longer as prominent and not jostling you around as much, and there might be a current that is set up by the direction of the wind, and so the water might be moving very quickly in one direction due to this storm. However, you are not being buffeted around in all of this, and you can see that there is no one place where you say that the waves stop and the current and slow movement or directional movement changes. It is, let us say, the further down you get, the more the change is obvious. And so it is the same way with your dream states. And dear ones, some of your dream states are very turbulent, and it is because you are working very rapidly through energies or understandings or releasing emotions that have been weighing down upon you. This is, let us say, healthy. For when you, let us say, you are angry at someone and you do not express it and you do not deal with it on the surface, you internalize it, and your anger can it can just park itself in your lungs or your kidneys, or it can just park itself in your body, and this can cause pathological problems, and it can cause all sorts of disease and uncomfortable situations, stuck energies, imbalances. And so best to deal with your anger on the surface, of course, However, if it has been internalized, you still have mechanisms to release these stuck energies, and very often you do it in turbulent realms of the dream state. And there are also realms of the dream state where you are not working on something like this, where you are simply exploring your own feelings or your own desires or your own shame or guilt or something like this. And each area of your dream realm will have a different capability to do things like this. And some of these dream realms are simply for you to explore your dreams. The things that you aspire to. You might, some part of you might wish to be a superhero, and before you try to do this in the waking world, you just experiment with it in dream realms, and you realize that maybe it's not all that to be a superhero, and maybe my ego is going to swell too much with that, or maybe I'm not ready for this responsibility, so to speak. And you can work all of this out in your dream realms. There are so many different ways. We could just speak of this all day. Let us just move on and say that these are not quote-unquote overlays. They are realms.
And then Aaron Darvish has one last question. Jadon Se, why do we experience different astral frequency realms in our dream state? Can you help with understanding the different frequency settings?
We have almost already addressed this entire thing. Your dream realms are, like we say, various areas for different purposes or stages of expression, let us say. Stages as in like your Shakespearean stage. It is a realm where you can work on different things. And so we feel like we have already answered most of this. The frequency part of this is just your understanding. Dear ones, the word frequency is overused in metaphysical jargon. Let us just say that it is true that all is vibration. You might say frequency and resonance. And so if you know that consciousness itself or some state of being, say stone or metal or something like this, is a state of vibration, and it is vibrating at a certain frequency, or you might even substitute the word density, then you understand that certain frequencies feel harder or softer, you might say, and you can try to use this understanding in your dream states as well. However, it is less useful here, and resonance is the final. When you are vibrating at a certain set of frequencies and they are overlapping, do they resonate? Do they become a beautiful symphony or a very harsh upon the ears grating sound or cacophony of some sort? What is the state of resonance? These can be applied to your dream realms. However, dream realms are not frequencies, dear ones. They are simply, let us say, spiritual realms of exploration, where you can do various things. They are not related to frequency in a direct form, so we will move on from this.
Oh, whoops. There. Home Drawn Studios has a question. I'm seeing images of dragons holding a round egg. Are some dragons born the same time as a born human child assigned to them? Is this why some personal dragons need be named if not revealed first?
Dear one, eggs are highly symbolic, and if you are seeing dragon eggs, you are seeing something that is beyond your average everyday egg, you might say. For dragon eggs are not only just a new dragon coming into a beingness or form. Let us say that a dragon egg is a multidimensional symbol of becoming. And when you have a multidimensional symbol of becoming, this can be read multidimensionally. Feel into it. Feel into what this symbolizes for you. And each of you listening to this, whether it is in your moment of now or in some recording, will be feeling into what is a dragon egg. And what sort of becomings are we speaking of? Not only just the hatching of a little cute little dragon with big baby dragon eyes looking at you and cooing at you and maybe perhaps biting you or something by accident and just being a cute little dragon. It is not only this, dear ones. It is a becoming. It can symbolize the coming of an age, can symbolize the creation of worlds, can symbolize the creation of grand stories and smaller stories and everything in between. And dear ones, when you behold any egg, there is so many, there are different meanings that you can get from this. Some look at an egg that is in their refrigerator and they think, breakfast. And some look at an egg and you think, oh, don't help the little baby bird hatch from the egg or it won't be strong enough. And there are so many beautiful understandings that can come from this. So your question of whether it is tied to the birth of a human child is one of your understandings. This is something you are reading into this vision of the dragon egg, and it is for you to answer this for yourself. Is there a human associated with that particular egg being born, perhaps in your family or perhaps in some part of your story, whether it is a connected lifetime of your own, etc. We will not delve too deeply into the meaning of your particular dream. Just know that an egg is a multidimensional symbol, and have fun with it.
Okay, I see Shivaho. I have had half a dozen near-death experiences that have left my meat suit in pretty bad shape. It feels like it's what prevents me from having any real loving relationship. Why?
Dear one, each of your near-death experiences has brought for you a different realization, a different understanding of what it is to be alive in this realm, and yes, in what it is to quote-unquote die in this realm. And your meat suit might be in bad shape for entirely different reasons than this. The near-death experiences can be part and parcel of what you are here to learn. Perhaps you are, let us say, one of those learners that prefers the school of hard knocks over the more book learning or whatever, understanding through transmitted wisdom, let us say. And you are here to experience over and over again in different ways what it is to be in this quote-unquote meat suit. And perhaps your calling it a meat suit is the issue that you need to look at now. Perhaps you are disrespecting this realm of existence, and therefore it is showing you what it is to be disrespected, and in various glaring details. And it can also pertain to your loving relationship. Let us just say that love will not come on the external until it happens on the internal side. There is sometimes both at the same time, where you have you're working through self-love issues, and another loving being can come and help you with this. This can be possible. However, it is more often the case that you will have trouble finding love, so to speak, in the opposite sex, or another loving being coming into your world and being your partner in life. because you are having trouble loving yourself. And it is very difficult for someone to come and love you if you do not love yourself. They will have a hard time, let us say. It is most likely for you to feel into why you are having troubles with this body of yours and these near-death experiences, so to speak. What is it that you are here to learn from this? And if you stop fighting it and stop rejecting these experiences and welcome them, and even learn to thank them, dear one. This is where the opportunity arises for you to learn and grow from these experiences and, yes, complete them. Oftentimes an experience will happen over and over again until you get the lesson and thank it for giving you the lesson, and then almost magically they stop happening. Many of you are learning from these sorts of repeating experiences that it is until you learn, until you get the message and the memo, whatever the lesson from it, and find gratitude for the lesson, reach a completion of it, that it stops repeating over and over.
Okay. University of Lisle has a question. How to clarify one's dreams and desires if it is blurry, unknown, lost somehow, especially in a period of moving into a golden age that is unknown and different to the old dying age that is known and apparent?
How to clarify? Well, dear one, there are so many different methods and means for you to reach clarity in your own beingness. The first and foremost being truth. Truth. What is truly your desire? Well, are you being, let us say, dismissive of your own desire, your own dreams, your own best case scenario, let us say? There is this beautiful word in the English language, and it is beautiful in many languages. It is the word ideal. What is ideal? Does it not say that it falls out of an idea? Like saying reality versus real, ideal. What is ideal for you? Well, this word itself is instructive, dear ones. It comes from the inner inspiration. Your insperience becomes an experience, and your inspirations, the things that make you happy, make you excited, make you look forward to the future. You could say the first time that your foot lands on the floor as you get up out of bed, if you could get out of your head and just let your foot take you in a direction of something you wish to do or see or be for that day, that would be the ideal for that moment. And give me a moment here. There was a little thing stuck in my throat. If you are operating from your ideals, what is ideal for you? Don't dream small, dear ones. Dream big. What is the ideal situation? Not just what gets me through the day, what gets me past this challenge. What is the ideal outcome for me? And this will cause clarity. The more you flex this muscle of looking at the ideal, you can take out a journal if you wish and start journaling. This would be ideal if this were the case and that were the case. And then suddenly, somewhere after you've been journaling all these ideals, you start to realize that simply writing them down is making some of them come true, or it seems like it's making them come true. They are coming true. It is because you are gaining clarity, and the more clarity that you have, the more you are making an announcement to the cosmos of your dreams. It is very much like sitting in a restaurant and waffling over what you are going to order. The waitress will stand there, or waiter, and just be patient with you and smile with you and explain the menu or whatever. But until you are clear on what you are ordering from the kitchen, what is the kitchen supposed to do? Read your mind? No, dear ones. This wait person will sit there and be just patient for you, or say, I can come back later, why don't you look at the menu, or whatever. If you are in a state where you do not have a clear order to put into the kitchen, no plate will come to feed you. Do you not see? This is how it is. The clarity is necessary. And even if you are somewhat unclear, even after asking the waiter for every last ingredient of some dish and how it is prepared, and at some point you just have to make a decision. Well, out of all these things on the menu, this is the one I choose. And so you just give up the rest and try not to micromanage the kitchen and all of this. And dear ones, clarity comes from the ideal. What is ideal? What is it that I am calling in for my greatest good? And it is for you to do this. If it is blurry, then just let us just say, feel into it, sit with it, and if the menu is still unclear, just choose one for the first meal at least and see what happens. That is a form of clarity. Even if you are not completely clear on what will happen, what the dish will look like when it comes to you, you just make a choice and go with it. And that in itself is a clarity, for you have made a decision, a clear decision, dear one.
I see Nita Matriana. She is asking, what is your perspective of silence?
Dear ones, there is such beauty in silence. Silence is, we have spoken of this before as in your old school radio, when you're tuning the dial on the radio and you're between stations, there is all this noise and hiss and seeming chaos of radio impulses, whatever this is. It is just a noise in between clear channels. And when you find a clear channel, it is because it is completely tuned in that there is silence. It is truly more of a focus than a chaotic, lacking or nothingness sort of thing. It is when you reach focus that you have the clearest silence. And even if there is a person speaking on that radio station, they can only speak clearly because there is silence between the words. And if there was noise between the words, then the words would be unintelligible. So it is the silence itself that makes each word possible. And so it is a focus. It is a focusing. So as you fall into silence, and you become the silence, so to speak, this is when the greatest, let us say, back to the other question, clarity comes. For you have contrast between a spoken word and the silence before and after that word. And the more deep that silence is, the more clarity of the word. And so, dear ones, it is not a void that is empty. It is a void that is filled with silence. And what is that? How can you have no thingness, let's say, this great void or no thingness? If there is nothing, no thing there, is it empty? And no, dear ones, the void or the great silence that you enter into is full of spirit. It is full of energy, life, consciousness, beingness. It is just not a thing. And so you think, there is nothing, there is no thing, it is empty. No, it is full. This is the same with silence, dear ones. You have this no-thingness or no activity or no whatever. It seems like everything has calmed down and become still. This stillness is full of silence, dear ones. This is full of the gathering of your awareness into a focus. This is the true meaning of the word silence, a gathering of consciousness, so much so that there is silence. Very much like this radio station. Even if no one is speaking, you do not hear the noise in between the channels because it is highly focused into that one perfect channel. It is full of silence. This is a fullness of being. It is beauty beyond compare. For it does not need a thing to shine through. It is pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure energy, pure spirit, dear one. That is how this dragon sees silence.
Okay, I think the next question is from Michael Petronella. Hi, Jadon Se. I love your story of Merlin. Could you share with us the story of Mafu, the master who was a leper that ascended in 79 AD, the day when Mount... I do not know how to say
it. It is Mount Vesuvius.
Okay. Began its eruption near Pompeii?
Pompeii. Dear one, your Stephen has no record of this Mafu. Your Stephen prides himself on having these knowledge of these different things, and if this dragon starts to speak a story that he has no knowledge of, let us say it will become a little bit of discord. It will be a little strange. The other thing is, there are very few on this gathering right now who are familiar with Mafu, and so this would become a storytelling session of stories that people are not familiar with, and it will not carry the same weight that it would. Many of you are very aware of Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius and how this city of Pompeii was buried under ash and mud and scorched earth, so to speak, by this volcano, and many are preserved to this day, even like statues, standing as they were when this great wave of energy and dust and heat hit them. They were baked into place, so to speak, and then buried. And so you can dig these beings, these poor remnants of beings, out of the dust and find them, and it is very interesting. And a leper ascending during this period of time, when the Mount Vesuvius was beginning to erupt, we will just say that beautiful visions and understandings come at the moment of ascension, and very often someone who is ascending can foretell events such as eruptions, and can be prescient, let us say, and give warning to some to make it out before the eruption, or to change their ways, or to be to take a different choice in life that does not involve being ossified by a volcanic eruption, so to speak, and become somebody's garden statue. Sorry, I'm not trying to make light of these deaths, but it can be kind of funny. How did you go out? I became a statue in a volcanic eruption. And your Stephen lives near Mount Shasta, which is technically an active volcano. It is actually technically 4 different active volcanoes, and any of them could erupt. And your Stephen's friend said, if it erupts, would you go outside and put your hand up with your fingers up? And your Stephen said, why? And his friend said, well, then I can come and dig you up and put you in my garden, and if your hand is up, I can hang a bird feeder on you. And so it is like this. It can be very fun to go out with style, let us say. We hope that this also helps the one who is struggling with life and death. You can make light of these things, dear ones. We are trying to weave all this together. Your master Mafu, we will not go deeply into that story. However, to say that when you ascend, you can very clearly see the life path of those around you, and that disaster might be coming. And very often, an ascending master can become prescient of and say a prophet in their own right.
Okay, I see Home Drawn Studios has a question. Is all the media negativity towards Three Eye Atlas a collective test of humanity before it becomes for individuals?
Dear ones, there are oftentimes things that happen that are interpreted many different ways by those who observe them, and this is normal and natural and part of reality. That we like to bring up the 7 blind men encountering the elephant, and we will not go through that aphorism again. However, it is instructive to know that each being observing something from their own story has their own truth to them. And your 3-eye atlas, Andronalf, is exactly like this. What you bring to the party is what is reflected to you. If you see an invasion force of reptilian beings, then that is what you feel, and it will cause you to be in fear or apprehension or something like this. If you see loving beings that are here to celebrate your ascension, it will have that effect on you, and you will tap into the reality where there are indeed loving beings who are there for you and celebrating ascension and the golden age and all of this. And so it reflects to you what you bring, and so therefore the media negativity aspect of this, let us just say that there are those who would like to paint the story of your Andronalf 3-eye atlas as one of an invasion force, and your Project Bluebeam, where elites can cling on to what little power they have left by putting everyone into fear of an alien invasion and all of this. It is well known, and that is why it is not succeeding. Many see right through these attempts to make 3-eye atlas negative and just shrug them off. That is just what's the chatter that is happening on the interwebs, or whatever you wish to say about it. And dear ones, let us just say that each of you can and does choose on whether it is a positive or a negative appearance in your sky. And those of you who are listening to this dragon will most likely have a very positive view on it, for that is, let us say, what this dragon has emphasized about this beautiful Andronalf. And yes, dear ones, it is also a fossil. We have said this from the very beginning. There is a dragon fossil, so to speak, embedded in it. And what is a fossil? It is remnants of ancient dragon energies that are still present to this moment, and they are instructive in the energy signature of the object itself. There are dragon energies at work in your 3-eye atlas, Andronalf, and Lyran energies, and beautiful star beings, star families are present there. There is a very strong energetic from your Pleiadian star mothers. There are very strong, wise energetics coming from your Arcturian star families. And dear ones, let us just say that your own limitations on what you put on this this appearance in your skies are the only limitations it has. What you carry in you, if you limit it, then it is limited for you. If you paint it in a negative light, then it is negative for you. That is enough on this.
Okay, let's see. I see Nazi has a question. I have been breathing in the love light frequency and breathing it out on all I see during walks. I am now experiencing a level of bliss that is otherworldly. I am that I am. I am unconditional love.
Dear one, this is so beautiful. And you are demonstrating for the rest of those gathered here the truth of the saying, be the change that you wish to see. For you have made an internal change, starting with breathing love light. Yes, dear ones, you can all do this. Every single one of you can do this. Breathe, follow the guidance of this wise one, Nazia, and you will see it will work for you as well. And it is because Nazia was guided to do this, so also give gratitude for the understanding that has come to you for this. Yes, this is highly instructive of how you make a change internally, and there is no deeper internal change you can make than that of your breathing. Your breathing is your first and last act as a being on this world in your way of reckoning, and it is very powerful. When you consciously breathe, you are doing something extremely divine, dear ones. This is why pranayama and your yogis and all of these do the breath work, for conscious breathing is the, let us say, a direct link with the divine. And if you're breathing consciously love light frequency, love light, we can even drop the word frequency again. It is love light. Dear one, if you are breathing this in every inhale and exhale, you will be in bliss, for you are breathing it into your reality. You are literally breathing it into being. And this is why dragons so often give these breath blessings, breathing something into transformative being. Yes, dragons' breaths are highly transformational, and so are human breaths. Breathing, dear ones. This is beautiful. Thank you for sharing this, Nazia. It is instructive of what we can all do with our consciousness, our breath, and when we bring those two together, what can happen? Beautiful. Shall we take? It is 1222 right now, and on your Pacific coast.
Okay, I do see a question that isn't in capitals, so I'll highlight it. And it is from Dam Janzun. Hi, I would like to ask, can our natal chart reveal our starseed origin? How precise are such readings, since my friend got 2 different readings from 2 different sources? Thanks and regards.
Dear one, because you are a little bit new to working with this dragon, you probably have not seen or heard fully that from a cosmic golden dragon standpoint, there is no such thing as a past life. They are all connected lives, and to the extent of your connections, you can gain abilities, understandings, wisdom, etc. And let us just say that astrology is no different. Astrology is part of your story. You choose this moment to appear upon this world when the astrological alignments are thus, and this is a part of your understanding. As you choose this life, you're choosing these influences, and because of this, you are also baking into your story this chart that may or may not extend to the heavens and your star families as well. And dear one, please understand that if you tried to chart your journey through the stars, so to speak, and you try to apply this linear kind of way of thinking, time-based linear thinking, my past lives, then you are trying to create this breadcrumb trail through the stars. Where did I come to be in this life? Did I come through Orion and then through Lyra and then through Arcturus and end up on this world? Or did I come through the Pleiades? Or which stargate did I come through? You are presuming that there is only one you weaving this way through the stars. Dear ones, you all have connected lifetimes on multiple dimensions and levels of beingness, and yes, different star systems. And if you are, let us say, in a mode where you are speaking truth to power, acting as a system buster, and this is very important to your identity in this story of you on this your world, in this your lifetime, then and only then you will have stronger connections to stories of star beings that are connected with speaking truth to power and system busting. Therefore, you will most likely be connected with lifetimes in your Orion star system and your Lyran wars and all of this, and they will come through very strongly, and they will appear in your chart as well. Yes, dear one, they will. Anything you bake into this life will appear in your astrological charts and will be confirmed there. And so it is for you to feel into your connected lifetimes, your story. And if you were to make an abrupt change in your story in this lifetime, perhaps you give away all of your worldly possessions and go live in a cave and become a hermit and just devote yourself to spiritual practices and meditation, you will see a pronounced shift, dear one. You will see a realignment with connected lifetimes that will be very pronounced. Suddenly, other lifetimes that were only tenuously connected will be very strongly connected, and lifetimes that were once strongly connected you will lose their influence upon you now. Do you see how this is? You are at the helm. You are not at the mercy of a star chart or star alignments. These are just pronouncements of what you have chosen for what you are doing in this life. We will end it on this note. It has been a beautiful gathering, dear ones. And we give thanks for your Stephanie, for calling out these questions and making her presence here known. It is important for all of you to understand that this dragon did not just come to Stephen. This dragon came to Stephen through Stephanie, and the two of them are both integral in my being in their lives. So we honor both of them for this. They are both messengers in their own way of these dragon energies, and so we are just acknowledging this at this time. Very good. Let us shout out where in the world we are right now. This is fun. It is beautiful to feel the connections of those of you gathered here all around this, your beautiful Gaia, your beautiful globe. Let us know where you are in this moment of now, and this time we will let Stephanie shout them out.
Okay, let's see. We have Chile in the house. And Berkeley, California, Utah, Groves, Texas, and South Africa, and Amsterdam, Netherlands, Texas is here, Illinois. Yeah. And the sun is now shining here. It just came out. It's been a thick fog here for 3 days, and so we're happy to see the sunshine. Fargo, Portugal, Thailand, and did I say Illinois? Yeah. All right. Yeah.
It is very beautiful.
Holland.
Do you all feel the energies of those gathered around your world?
Queensland, Australia.
Some of you can feel this before the live. You can feel those others tuning in. It is almost like things are getting more focused, like you're turning up the volume on the speakers. There's someone there.
Yeah. Present in Los Angeles, California.
Very good. We thank you very much for joining us today in this moment of your now. And for those of you on the recording, please send in a wave of energy right now from the recording of where you are and tap into these energies. We will see if we can feel you coming from your moment of now. Feel into this, each of you. So those of you listening to the recording, send a strong wave of connectedness with your dragon tribe here. We will feel for it. Do you feel this? There is a wave coming. There is a strong wave coming. It is beautiful. So we will thank those of you in the future as well, your future from your way of seeing. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again. Classes for the level 2, if you have taken the level 1, are open, and we look very much forward to hands-on knowledge that will be coming in January. In your way of reckoning, it is the January 4th is when you are gathering for this class. I am already there, sitting there at the class waiting. We will see you there.